Hello, everyone's. I am here for my review of Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 10, Episode 8. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am Lady T. I like to do reviews on scripted shows, reality shows, and also the reactions. If you're returning, you one of my peoples, well, welcome back. This is a clear example of when you're trying to make a moment and be messy and it doesn't turn out the way you thought it was. We have Kiara over here like, hey girl Monique, nice to meet you and all. Don't you know Stacy, don't y'all be hanging out? And Monique's looking like, no, I really don't be hanging out. I be at home with my kids and my animals. She's like, oh, isn't she dating your ex-husband, Chris Samuels? Wendy and Stacy are standing there like, really? Wow, okay, this is what we doing. Like, you being real messy right now. And Monique's looking like, okay, like, why are you telling me this? And she gets into her confessional like, she does not care who Chris Samuels dating. They divorced, and she would assume that he is dating. Her only thing is, whatever person he decides to date, just be good to my kids. And I was like, good answer, Monique. Good answer. I appreciate that. Like, if he's going to date, just make sure whoever he's dating is good to my kids. And I completely understand that. I am on the mindset of, you with somebody, y'all have kids, y'all break up, sometime later you get with somebody. Make sure you've been with this person for a good amount of time. Then make sure that the other parent meets this new person before the kids do. That's my saying on things. But Monique's like, she don't care. They're no longer together. And that's like the thing I've been saying. Monique and Chris have divorced. Monique, Stacy do not know each other. So it's not as messy as like Ashley, a little bit of Giselle, and Kiana's trying to make it seem. And I'm glad that Monique was like, okay, I'm happy for them. It's like, see, Kiana, this is what happens when you're trying to make a moment and it doesn't turn out the way you thought it would. So now Ashley has to confront Stacy about her new cannabis line. Y'all know Ashley, so she won't have to talk about her business. She's going to let you know how she feels about what you got going on in your personal relationships or your businesses. So now she's feeling some type of way that Stacy would name her new cannabis business a Nigerian name. So she has to let Stacy know this. Now this is where I'm going to pause. I myself have no issue that Stacy wants to go into a cannabis business because, like, hey, maybe certain products that Wendy and Eddie don't have, she may have in her business. Now, y'all, I know nothing about cannabis at all. I'm assuming that there is different strains that have different effects. So maybe she's doing like, hey, I also have like creams and lotions that can help that have like I don't know, the chemicals of the cannabis. I have things over here that they don't have. So I think it's like room for everybody. I just thought like, why would you, like, you just found out that you come from a Nigerian background. You know nothing about it from what I am sensing. I could be wrong. So why would you name it a Yoruba name? Now, I apologize if I'm not pronouncing these names right. Words and me, sometimes we have an issue. And words just don't come out correctly out of my mouth sometimes. So I do want to apologize. Now, I would think out of all the ladies in the group, the only two people who should have any say or feel some type of way would be Wendy and it would be Tia, because these are both Nigerian women. We have known them to be Nigerian women since they stepped foot on this show. And they know about the Nigerian customs and cultures and how to pronounce the names correctly. Because Wendy did have to let her know, like, if you gonna name it, like, make sure you pronounce it right. My issue is, what's her name? Ashley, you have no dog in this fight. Why are you the one speaking the loudest about this? How is this going to affect your life? Now, I may see be seeming very hypocritical at this moment, because I just think, like, I don't care that she started this line. I just thought it was odd that she was naming that. But I'm not gonna go up to Stacy and like, girl, you sound crazy doing that. Why are you doing that? I'm feeling some type of way about what your business doing. I'm not gonna do that, even though, like I said, it sounded hypocritical. I think it's odd because you have no real connection to the Nigerian culture. Yeah, you found out that you have Nigerian in your heritage. I mean, and you have Nigerian DNA in you. Yeah, I am not. Please forgive me if I'm not saying the words correctly. You have Nigerian DNA, but you don't know the customs and the culture. Is all I'm saying. I'm also saying, Ashley, why are you making this a bigger issue than what it is? But then again, this is Ashley. She's always going to make something so small and that has nothing to do with her into something big. Monique discussed this with the ladies, the downfall of her relationship. And it seemed like her relationship may have been doomed from the beginning. Because she said that she's seen, the breaks and the cracks in the marriages when her daughter was 6 months old. Her daughter is now 10. So that means, like, daughter's 10, they divorced when she was 8, so at least 7.5 years they had been going through it, and she was putting on this smile like we're this happy couple. Even though she tried to paint this picture, we seen through the cracks in this relationship and how she just feels like she was doing so much to make this marriage work and to seem like this happy family, this happy couple, but we seen through the cracks. We seen that what was it, her birthday, and she wanted some help on some things, and like he was like, "Nah, why don't we just do this?" And it's like I'm just asking for these simple things, and she was noticing that like he was just a different person. And I guess she wanted to hold on to this image to where she was losing herself. And I sensed that when she was on the show. It was like, you're angry about all these things and you're not getting the help to overcome them, and you're letting it build up and build up and build up till finally she just exploded, and all that anger went to Candace. And I wish she would just say that. So, and have maybe a sit down with Candace and be like, look here, I was not happy with myself at that time. I was masking my feelings of me being happy, and I took out all my anger and frustrations on you, and I am sorry for that. It was like Monique did not have to tell us that she was not happy in her marriage, because she did not seem happy in her marriage. It seemed like he wanted a trophy wife. He wanted somebody who's going to cater to him. He'd been in football, so he was used to being spoiled. And it seemed like he wanted that in his relationship, in his marriage. And then we add on to the fact that how his mama treated her. All that will add up to the downfall of your relationship, and wanting to have this facade like she can do everything, and that's just not who she is. So I appreciate Monique letting us know that, yeah, I wasn't happy in my relationship. I tried to put on this front that I was, and I wasn't. I tried to hold on as long as I could, and just one day, after they was doing what grown folks do, she tested her theory, and then he went and treated her like a piece of meat. She was like, you know what? I'm done. And sometimes you just have to let go. Some people like, ooh, I want me a rich man. I want me the man to do this. But you don't think about all the things that you have to go through to keep this lifestyle. And Monique is like, I'd rather have my peace than this lifestyle. When I tell you, Stacy is getting from every which way but loose. So now, Wendy, Eddie, Tia, and her husband, I think his name is Rob, they all meet up. Stacy and Timo were supposed to meet up too, but there's conflicting stories about that. Before we get into that, Wendy and Eddie discuss they've known each other since they were 17. She wasn't really feeling like that too. It's probably like, I know you, but you not that person yet. And she said he didn't have a car, so it was like I can't really get with you. Um, Tia and Rob, they've been knowing each other since like 1998. She said she lied about her age. And she used to do a lot of lying back at school. She thought it was exotic, so she told the kids at school that she was part Cuban as opposed to being part Nigerian and English. Because she went to an all-white boarding school and she was having an identity crisis. I'm like, okay. But anyways, like, they laughed. But Wendy was like, yeah, once we got to college, and he was looking a little different. And he had a car. And she was like, okay, that's what's up. And they've been together since. Wendy and Ed have been married for 14 years. Tia and Rob have been married for 17 years. They've been back in the Maryland area, like the DMV, for like the past 5 years. So, yeah, that. And then we get to discussing Stacy. Now, Stacy should have learned since last year that if you say something to somebody, it's going to get around to the whole group. And telephone may or may not been played with the group. That's with anybody. You can tell one person this, and by the time it gets to the end of the line, you are no longer a part of the story, and it then flipped and flopped and turned all the way around. Yeah, I learned that when I was about 7 or 8 years old, playing telephone, how the story can switch up. So that's why it is important not to lie. So now, Tia is telling Wendy, yeah, Stacy told me that, like, I'm basically the only one she felt comfortable around her husband. Wendy's feeling some type of way because she's been having Stacy's back. Even when Stacy seemed like she was doing some little shifty stuff, Wendy has had her back. Now we gotta get Stacy on the phone, and she's like, Wendy, I apologize. I should have let Timo, meet you first out of all the groups. I do apologize about that. I was like, I do appreciate that. But, like, sometimes I don't know if Stacy be doing these things on purpose or it's an accident. But I do know that you should learn this. We're not new to the reality TV game. If you say something, whether it's positive or negative, it is going to get back to the person you was talking about. Tia brings up to Wendy how Angel feels some type of way about her in this whole catfish situation. And y'all, I don't know what it is to where Angel has been focused on not liking Wendy. It is not making sense to me. Is there some scenes that we don't know about? And Wendy was talking about Angel like a dog, because I'm not seeing it. They talk about the whole Wendy calling her a catfish. Wendy did not call her a catfish. Giselle called her a catfish. Wendy was basically interpreting what Giselle said. But instead of being mad about Giselle, who brought up the pictures, you mad at Wendy, who was interpreting what Giselle said and did a small kiki laugh about it. Now, yeah, I said it before. If you Photoshop your pictures all you want to, but don't lie about it. I mean, a lot of people Photoshop. I use a particular setting so the picture will look different. Now, I have not posted or took a picture in I don't know how long. So, there's probably I'm pretty sure there's some different technologies. What I'm saying is, Angel did not look like she looks in that picture. Present Angel and Angel when she was like working red carpets, that didn't look like the same person. So it's not like, well, since I picked up weight, I look like no. Even though my face is a lot rounder than what it was, I still look the same. That looked like a completely different person. So, her having all this attitude towards Wendy, and we're going to go back to that comment she made last week with her sister when she was calling Wendy, she had some big old lips in Forrest Whitaker's eyes. I didn't think about that until I was watching a few more videos, and I was like, why would you reference Wendy looking like a man? And I had to sit and think about that. And I heard it, but I didn't hear it. And as I was like watching more and more videos, which that's why I don't like doing watching videos before I do mine. So I was like, I don't want that to blend into what I was saying. But I did feel some type of way about it, and I just didn't know why. And then it was like, why would she refer to Wendy looking like a man of all people? You were mad about them judging you of your pictures, but you over here judging Wendy and saying that she looks like a man? You have and the only thing that you and your sister could say about Giselle was, oh, she photoshops in like her neck so it can look smooth. You have all this anger and it's pointed towards not Whitney, but Wendy, but not Giselle. I'm not understanding this. And I just know that they are going to wear her out at this reunion. They probably jump on Wendy a little bit too, but what she got going on current time. But I can see them come up for Angel like, girl, what is this issue that you have with Wendy? Giselle's reasonably shady 10 million view download party turned into, Stacy, you are a liar. And we're going to confront you about all the lying that you have done. First, Tia steps up to the bat like, hey, you lied about whether your husband was in town or out of town. You were a liar. I trusted you. People told me you was a liar. I wanted to see for myself, and it turns out you were a liar, and I don't want to be around you because you were a liar. Stacy could have squashed all of this by just simply not bringing Timo around the girls and be like, hey, Timo don't want to really be on the show, so, maybe if you want to meet him, we can do that without the cameras. Don't say that on camera, but, privately. And this would have been squashed. But now you seeing Timo is flying out. Timo's flying out at this time. Timo's at home, but he's not at home. It's making you look like a liar. Again, these lies are lies, and I don't condone lying, but these are lies that are not going to hurt anybody. Now, Kiara has to step up to the bat. We had dinner. Monique had spread her all the woes that she had in her relationship, and you went back and told Chris that Monique said he was bad doing this, he was bad doing that, up, down, left, right, and round the corner. Now, Wendy is like, do we know this to be true? Because we getting this information from Cookie. And let's not forget, it was Cookie who was, Karen's person who she relates how she's doing on the inside. And Cookie's the also one. Wasn't she like they was at dinner and then Chris just happens to call? So it just seemed funny to me. It could be coincidence that every time something is going down and Cookie is around, Chris Samuels just happens to call and or text excuse me, at that exact moment when Cookie is around these particular ladies. Now, Wendy, she just thinks that if we're going to talk about Monique, then Monique needs to be here. She also lets the ladies know that, hey, Monique had already said if Cookie has anything to say about her, it's probably a lie. I could see both. Now, Monique, from what we heard, and it could be ad salt, it could be playing telephone, she felt like she was a piece of meat. She relayed that message, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Stacy ran tell that and went and told that to Chris. Then Chris went and told this to Cookie. Then Cookie then brought this back to the girls. It may have happened, it may not have happened. Because, Stacy, she do be tending to, lie. We're going to just say that. She does tend to lie. And she was like, Kiara, just because you keep saying it over and over again does not make it true. And we need Monique here. Now, why did y'all go and Stacy decide to point at Cookie? Apparently, this is a no-no. Don't point at Cookie, even though Cookie was like, don't point at me. I'm like, girl, you tell her not to point at you, but you point at her. So what Stacy do? She kept on pointing at Cookie. Now Cookie talking about she need to take a bath because she funky. I don't know Cookie like that, but something about her I don't like. I can't put my finger on it. It's just that I just do not like it at all. So these girls, y'all are making Stacy the whole show. Do you guys realize that? Did y'all focusing all y'all anger on Stacy? Excuse me, y'all. Y'all are focusing all y'all energy on Stacy, to where the show has been surrounded by Stacy. Y'all are making her the show. Do you guys realize that? That was suggest. If I left anything out, by all means, leave a comment below. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Feel free to subscribe. It is free all day, every day, free 99. Make sure your notifications are also in mind. If you do it for Facebook about video, you can click on it, you can like it, and share with your people, and they can come over and be one of my peoples by clicking that icon above. This is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.